Vacuuminator.
I'm Buster.
And this week in Toku, we've got new Revice toys to talk about, a new Revice episode to talk about, and a new Revice spin-off to talk about. But before all that, Buster, how you doing?
Okay, I'm slowly but surely writing videos again, so that's good.
Yeah.
Just finished the first draft of a major, like a writer one, so most of the audience of the show will be happy. I do want to get a couple more before I start uploading and editing again. Like
Yeah.
a couple more scripts, like just stockpiled, just so I'm like I don't like because I'm in the groove and I feel like I want to write more. I just need to find some topics.
Yeah, and it makes sense that you would ease back into it and kind of get a different creative flow going, so you avoid having that burnout again.
Yeah. How are you doing, Mr. Vacuuminator?
Uh, I'm okay. I had a bit of a weird weekend this week because I had one plan for it, and then I got reminded that my mom and sister were going to be gone at a retreat all weekend, and so I was like, okay, great, let's change the plan to be doing a bunch of stuff that I can only really get done just me myself. I don't need other people around to get it done and help me out occasionally. And I can put all this stuff that involves them off another week or two. And then I woke up on Saturday and found out I had gotten my paycheck a few days before I was expecting it, and I was like, well, now I got to shift everything to pay bills and do other shit until it's okay. So I only ended up getting half of what I had planned done. Also, I pulled an all-nighter Saturday, so that was not great, but it was necessary in order to get as much done as I needed to, and I was also having sleep schedule issues, so I was able to reset my body clock. Two birds with one stone kind of a thing.
Yeah, I think we all just need like a 24-hour just sleep reset, like some days.
Yeah.
Uh,
First time I've done that in quite a while, so it's interesting seeing that I still could. Because, they say as you get older, it gets harder and harder to pull that kind of crap.
I mean, you're not that old.
No, I'm not super old. I'm in my prime, just like Modular Media, the creative co-op that makes this podcast possible. So if you're a fan of this show, please do us a favor, give this podcast a like, comment on it, and subscribe, and ring the bell in order to enable notifications. And help us out in that YouTube algorithm if you're listening on YouTube. If you're listening on a podcasting platform, please follow us on whatever that is to help out that platform, or help out our algorithm on that platform. And follow us on Twitter at the Modular Media for updates on the show whenever we have them. And join our subreddit r/Modular Media to post memes about the show.
Yeah, if you can think of them and you have decent Photoshop skills.
I'm sure there's memes to be made about our various dynamics and stuff like that. I actually thought of, after we did components this week, because hey, spoilers, Cody is finally on a regular episode of components again this Friday. I just had this thought of, like, you can make a really good like Chad Comics meme of, like, Vac when Cody's not on an episode of components. Oh God, they're gonna kink shame me. Vac when Cody is on an episode of Components, screaming about toys with Cody, just nonstop.
Uh,
Because that's
uh,
what that episode is. Look forward to it, fuckers.
yeah, speaking of shaming, we only got one piece of news.
And it is toy news, so hey, it's relevant two ways.
Yeah.
We had the reveal of the Kamen Rider Revice DX rolling Vicestamp, which is going to be the next upgrade item for Revice, and it's going to give him the Jaaku form, which is very interesting because it's mostly black, and the face has got some elements of Vice in it, and people translated the transformation phrase that the sound is, and it's basically a bunch of stuff about, like, oh, demons always lie. This body is mine now. So Kamen Rider Revice about to get nominated for top 10 anime betrayals, I guess.
Yeah, like maybe top 20. Yeah, very excited for this form because we've kind of always, like, ever since the show started, we're like, all right, when's Vice gonna pull the trigger and betray like Iki, and it's like
They actually have had me thinking that maybe they weren't going to do that after the last few episodes of them bonding and being good boys together.
yeah, but that's how they get you. That's how they get
Uh-huh.
you, and that's great. I'm actually
Or
like
they're also doing it way earlier in the show than we usually expected, because like that's normally like a mid-season thing.
honestly they're doing it a bit later because I have fully expected the winter arc to do like at the end of the December episodes to just like get into some betrayal stuff. But
Hmm.
no, because honestly compared to like the last few seasons of Rider, and this isn't to like discount Zero One or Saber, like they have like arc. They have like okay, the first 16 episodes you have like a story, and then the next episodes you got like you transition to a new story with new villains and new writers. But Revice is just like it's a steady stream of continuing
Yeah.
like its
The,
story.
the last time I can remember Ryder doing something like this was Build, but even then, Build still had those very formulaic points where there's a certain story beat that Heisei always has.
Yeah, like a
This
new
is
writer
breaking
will
away
be
from that pretty
introduced.
fully.
Yeah, like as much as I love Build, it's still true to like okay for 16 episodes. Then around episode 17, a new writer is introduced to kick off a new story arc. But like we haven't really had a new writer to kick off a new story arc. It's just like here's like a continuous narrative, and that's kind of reminds me. I've been writing about O's. It kind of reminds me of O's Double and Forze in a way.
Hmm.
Like just like more O's because just that even though there was like a new writer to introduce a new arc, it still like was very steady stream.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just speaking of Revice, should we get into the
Yeah.
episodes?
Yeah, let's just straight up get into it.
Yeah. Kamen Rider Revice, episode 20. Terrible and transcendent the cost of transforming. Uh, and that was not good. Don't think you typed that well, but whatever.
That's how it's spelled in the subs.
Okay. But yeah, this was a really good episode. Any thoughts? Initial thoughts, Vac?
I thought you were gonna say some more shit there, so that's why I was pausing. No, I dug this episode quite a bit. We're still not fully back up to the par of the Guy Fieri form introduction, but I did like this episode a fair bit. Lots of interesting stuff going on with Hiromi and his whole fate thing.
Yeah.
And I'm also enjoying how we're like slowly developing all these other little plot threads in the background throughout this episode. We get a little update on the dad. We get some stuff with Daiji and Iki trying to be supportive, and we also find out that George and fucking executive man are definitely not up to above board shit.
Yeah,
And
like specifically George saying he wants to make the ultimate Kamen Rider, which is like, gee, I wonder if he'll be the ultimate Kamen Rider.
mhm.
I fully expected him to transform in like these episodes, like these specific like number of episodes, but I'm glad they're holding off on it and giving him like more time to develop.
I would not be surprised if it's like episode 30, episode 35, and like
Yeah,
he's
and
been
that
he's been pretty reserved lately, but like he's a writer fanboy. When he becomes a writer, he's gonna have like an even bigger coming face than Dan the man is known for.
yeah, it's he's got lots of shenanigans are gonna happen, and then that'll probably lead into the final form arc.
Mhm.
Man, I watches that just entirely gets like because Revice has been like turning a lot of tropes on its head, at least in terms of how it introduces things. Like it watching just that none of that actually happens like at the points we expect.
Yeah, especially because we've now got a fully reformed villain who's like not on the path to becoming a writer at all. He's just another guy in the plot who's like friends with both sides and is trying to like broker peace in some way.
Yeah. And then we get like Oleta's backstory, or
Yeah, fucking that he's just the biggest incel in the world.
and it's like I feel like and apparently someone else like the quote we see like clearly some of his facial features, and that's clearly the creepy commander guy who was in analyzing Gifu a few
Uh-huh.
episodes ago. That
He's Darth Sidiousing it up.
Yeah. And it's like actually this throws a wrench into my Oleta's the final villain plan theory.
Hmm.
Yeah.
No, it's either gonna be I can't believe it's not Palpatine or George.
Yeah. Like maybe Oleta will be like the Kazuri, where he's all the way up until the end, but then he gets like backstabbed.
Yeah.
No, was that Kazuri? No, that was
Wait,
Uva.
didn't his monster form get destroyed this episode?
I think.
Yeah,
Might be.
no, the fucking tablet breaks and everything, so he's
Oh,
on the
I don't.
same level as
Oh,
Tamaki now.
yeah. Actually, I think I know where this leads to because I saw an image. Let's
Ooh.
just say. Should I say it? Because it's a public knowledge, basically.
If it's public knowledge, go ahead and say it.
All
I
right.
don't.
There's an image of him wearing the Demon's Driver.
Ooh.
And that's I was talking on Twitter. Oh, I saw a Revice spoiler. And then, like my face was like happy, and I was like, that's what I was like talking about. That's a really cool twist and a cool way to keep using demons. If the next episode he actually does die, like they're teasing.
Okay, but is he gonna reform and become demons, or is demons gonna be a bad boy now?
I think
Bad boy, rather.
bad boy is what they're like, because like at the
Yeah.
end of the episode, like Oleta's like, I want the Demon's Driver.
Oh, you know what they should fucking do?
What?
Remember how we suggested they should do an arc where Daiji and Kagero get separated? Do
Oh,
that, and so you have the bad guys have two evil riders for a few episodes, and Daiji's caught in the middle while only Iki and Sakura can transform.
oh, that would be nuts. I mean,
Mhm.
well, if like that, if I think Daji and Kagero would separate, that usually the reason I want to see that so we can see live and evil fight and of
I'm
just like
sure they get to that eventually, but like I get the feeling that without your demon, you can't transform unless you have a demon's driver.
yeah, you're right. And the Demon's Driver has a really menacing voice. It's like it's just really threatening for being a belt. It's like the anti Mr. Belt in like the best ways.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like a generic Monster Mash voice, but it also has like that very sort of charming elderly Japanese man in a suit twist to it that
Yeah,
makes it very
and he's
very
voiced by
Chris Pepler-esque.
Japanese Seto Kaiba, so that makes sense. Like legit.
uh,
Um.
but
Oh yeah,
no,
a
this
demons. I kind of wish he had a better fight because they kind of focused more on Revice fighting in this episode.
yeah, but that was a banger fight. Like one
Yeah,
of the best oneers I've seen in Toku in a long time.
I think Sakamoto's directing these episodes of Revice. Let me check because I remember hearing something about Sakamoto directing. I'm gonna keep talking.
Uh, Trying to think of something else to say.
Uh, uh, the Lupin Ranger
Get
versus Powder Ranger girl died. Yeah,
yeah.
Sakamoto did direct this. That fight did have a lot of Sakamoto.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, so yeah, he
Mhm.
also directed
Great
last
use of the
episode.
theme song too.
Yeah, that's how you can kind of tell it's a Sakamoto fight. Yeah, I mean, it's just a solid episode. Very excited to see how things go from here because they're calling from what I hear, they're calling this like a trilogy of episodes.
Mhm.
Because the next episode's preview showcases more Hiromi shenanigans. So very interested to see where things go, especially now that we saw like the Oleta, Olect, don't know how you pronounce his name. Oleta's
Ultica is
Ultica.
my understanding of their pronoun. I always go with something similar to what the Japanese pronunciation sounds like.
Okay,
I always try and go with what it sounds like they're saying.
yeah, good point. Ultica is like the Ultica's demon's driver shenanigans.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not the only Revice thing we got, as we have a mini series to go over for the next few months. Kamen Rider Revice, The Mystery. So this is a mini series for the Tesla streaming program, and basically it's gonna have some cameos from Heisei writers, maybe Reiwa, we'll see. Um,
It's the anniversary stuff for the anniversary show, but it's in a spin-off.
yeah.
And
Um,
honestly, I could see them doing this plot in the main show. This just feels like a bottle episode two-parter, but it's shorter episodes and it's gonna be stretched out to this is gonna be 5 episodes over the next month.
Yeah, which is actually surprising. That's a pretty meaty size, and it's basically just what if that plot from Geo versus Decade or Decade versus Geo, I forgot which one it was in. I think it was Decade versus Geo.
I don't
But
know. I
with
didn't
like
fucking
Revice,
watch them.
yeah, that was like a murder mystery plot.
Hmm.
Yeah, and also at the end teases the return of Kamen Rider Axel, which yeah, that's nice. Also, the preview showcases the Gaim writers, not like Kota, but like Mr. Dangerous.
Jonichi and Pierre are coming back. It's
Yeah,
confirmed via the wiki.
oh yeah. We see like a couple shots of their like a Gaiden 3 form.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Speaking of fucking which, I know no one from my drama list listens to this show, but like, god damn it, my drama list. Fucking put up this show yourself or just accept my submissions for it already. Because I've tried to submit a page for the show twice now, and they won't accept it because they don't like I'm using the fan wiki as the source, even though that's the only fucking source there is for this shit.
But yeah, this was a really interesting start. You know, we got like a bunch of colorful characters, a murder, you know, some shenanigans. We got Vice in a Herlock Sholmes costume.
Uh-huh, that's probably gonna be the thumbnail.
Yeah, very eye catching, I'd say.
Yeah.
I also got the Amazon's filter on the whole thing.
Which I didn't even notice until halfway through, honestly.
Yeah, it blends in well with the Revices, I'd say.
Hmm. And we
Uh,
get we've already got half the cameos because Gen's in a lot of the main plot of this episode. Genpachi from Drive, and
yeah,
I like how they're very subtle in the writing, but you do get the feeling that like time has passed for him, and he's kind of grown a little more into it feels like he's supposed to be like a modern god damn it, what's the character's name? Tachibana. He's supposed to
yeah,
be modern Tachibana,
from the
but we
show
just
era.
haven't seen it till now. Because he mentions, like, oh yeah, you could say I'm a friend to the common writers, and there's a lot of talk of the other writers he's worked with.
Yeah, dude.
And
Yeah,
then
and
Axel is here to sign his autograph.
yeah. Also to fight next episode.
Hmm.
Which yeah, just very like interesting idea. It's pretty like 5 episodes is a lot for this kind of mini series. I guess this is what's gonna be like replacing the Nat movies from here on out.
Yeah, which is fine. It makes sense for the modern era.
Yeah. Although Saber something had similar to this with like the Master Swords, but that was more like lore based. This is like more just hey, let's have a fun story with a bunch of cameos based. And apparently it's non-canon. I've
Actually,
heard.
I'd say this is like the version of the Revice version of Saber's crossovers with the Ghost Rider.
Oh yeah. Well, that's Toei Tokusatsu fan club. This is Tesla, and
Yeah.
we're probably gonna get some like Levi's Toei Tokusatsu fan club specials later down the line.
Mhm.
But yeah, good start. Hopefully it sticks the landing because murder mysteries are a tricky thing to get right.
I'm not expecting it to be anything like
Yeah, I'm not saying it needs to be groundbreaking. I'm just saying just make it like fun and don't pull some random bull.
that's totally what I'm expecting. I don't think when we find out who the monster actually is, I don't think it's gonna make any goddamn sense, even if they like
Oh,
do
that's
a
not what
big
I
explanation.
mean. That's not what I mean. I mean like more like edgy stuff. Like don't do like overly gratuitous or like other like side
Oh no, I don't get any hint of that from this. Though we might get some kind of sexy over gratuitous shit
Yeah.
because fucking Hiromi and Iki have a crush on the same chick who is the most plain homely looking actress I've seen in Toku in a
I
while.
think she's from Go Under because like the other cameos are from other Toku. Like
Hmm.
I think she might be the. I could be wrong, but yeah, she's from something else. But also I'm calling it she's the murderer.
Yeah, it's either her or the maid, because the maid was making a look. Though the guy that they find murdered at the end of the episode, her and the maid are like the only two people that aren't there when the body is are there when the body is found. Like they're very trying to make you think it's either the teacher, the restaurant worker, or the groundskeeper, because they're all not in that scene when they find out about the body.
Also, did the subs question? Because I saw like a picture of this floating around on Twitter. Did the subs you used said Sussy Baka?
No,
Okay, because okay, someone might have used different subs because or edited that picture. Because
I
someone,
feel like that was just someone messing around. Yeah.
yeah,
Though I did
because
notice something about. I did notice the word simp in something this week. I can't remember if it was this or Zenkaiger.
I think it might have been the mystery because the mystery is not being subbed by the crew.
Yeah. Though the people who are subbing it are doing a decent job.
Yeah, yeah. Speaking of just whatever, Kikai Sentai Zenkaiger episode 45. The world's worst luck ever could only be super bad. I mean, that's with that awful transition, I currently do have the worst luck ever, and this was but screw worst luck, this was a good episode.
Yeah, this is a great episode. Reminded me of the glory days of, I shouldn't say the glory days, but like the golden age back before we were heavy into plot stuff and Zox was around. Because this is basically a pre-teens filler episode, but it's all the way at the tail end.
Yeah, but like there's also like a mystery of like Stacy, which that hurt my heart. Like, and apparently like Gig or whoever's controlling Stacy is not only using portals but also as being a e-boy.
I think we're gonna find out like he's some kind of eldritch god that's just been going along with Bokuwawas for a while and is now like, you know what, this planet's gotten boring. I'm gonna get in there and fuck with shit.
Yeah, that's what Gege, like, that's what they're. I feel like that was gonna happen earlier, but because of the voice actor swap, they had to like tap that for a bit. Like,
Yeah.
But even so, this is very very like nice like transition into like, oh, here's a one-off episode, but we're also like setting up the final arc. And it was also a nice like Majin focus episode. We haven't gotten one of those in like a while.
Mm-hmm. And they did a really cool Magi Ranger homage this episode because of it.
Yeah. Also, all the Sentai yellows from the Showa era who died.
Yeah.
Great.
Such a great moment.
Yeah, just like everything is going completely wrong, and it's like it really shows Zenkaiger's talent for slapstick.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if people got anywhere near as pissed off about that as they did the Jetman thing.
I don't think so. I feel like I don't really follow those people because they're like the worst. But like I feel like if they are gonna get pissed, that this show is not for them anymore. I feel like they either moved on or they're just overall solid episode. Very excited for next week. Especially because Stacy's basically like, I'm God, and I'm like, what? Gonna pull a JRPG and attack and dethrone God.
Yeah, and he starts playing that Kanye song.
There's a Kanye song?
Yeah, there's a Kanye song where he's literally just going like, I am a god, not a man, a god.
Not really a Kanye fella, but like...
I'm not either. I know it because it was in the trailer for the live-actions Assassin's Creed movie.
Why would you... Okay, we're gonna talk about that later because that's Toku related. Yeah, I didn't really get much toys. Oh wait, actually, we did get speaking of, because like right now is the old stuff and toys section. There was like some images about new Dino Fury Zords toys, but like they're not really official solicitation.
Yeah, just somebody found images for season 2 Zords that we already know about because they're in Reef Soldier. They found the images. I think it was in the Walmart system.
I just saw them on Twitter.
Yeah, I saw them for like a split second, and I never bothered to grab the link.
Basically, mostly gold and Zord, and they're actually going to complete the Megazord line, it seems, because they didn't do that with Beast Morphers.
Yay!
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's it. We should probably stop like stretching out this episode and just wrap up.
Yeah, it's a short one, folks, but what do you want? The trigger's over, we've got nothing to bitch about now, and there's no news, so we super have nothing to bitch about.
Yay. But you can watch me bitch on the Buster Corp channel, or actually, no, what's the opposite of bitch? Whatever. You just watch me on the Buster Corp channel. I do reviews, video essays, all sorts of garbage, and people like them, but I don't, so go ahead.
I'm pretty sure the opposite of bitching is praising.
Yeah.
I think so.
Or catting.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm the Vacuuminator. I make videos and things. You can find them at youtube.com/thevacuuminator. You can also see me tweeting about things at twitter.com/thevacuuminator. And I'm on Instagram posting photos of things at _vacuuminator. But folks, that's going to do it for this week in Tokusatsu. So, hey, we'll see you next week to find out whatever happens that week in Tokusatsu.